Well, we just got here to Spider Rock. Verdell and Perlene dropped us off after dinner to come take a look. This beautiful country. Cave dwellings over there, across the canyon. We haven't really started with this program yet. Interviewing Verdell or other musicians. We're not 100% sure what we're going to do. But it feels mighty good to be here and to be maybe dedicating this program to the spirit of the Native Americans and their music and nature, because, you know, this is music and nature. So when you won the Grammys, did you go and accept them, or they just to like Los Angeles, I guess?
Yep. The Kodak Theater. Well, it was at the Staples Center, but they had the pre-show at the Kodak Theater.
And Johnny Mike got up and...
Yeah, they give you 6 seconds to respond.
6 seconds?
6 seconds.
Oh, that's about it.
Yep. Wave around and smile and hope for the best. There was like eight finalists. I mean, just being nominated was good enough for me, you know.
Yeah. You know, when you work on projects and songs and books or whatever, you learn so much, and so much I didn't know about Native Americans, indigenous peoples, all these things. But one thing that's... we go right?
Yep. Or left.
Left, okay. At one of Victor Wooten's Spirit of Music camps, he brought in a spirit tracker, not a native spirit tracker, but some people call them the animal communicators, who, through over the years of following animals, looking at their tracks, their behaviors, all these things, they can come to a point where, you know, they may start off looking at the tracks and how the grass is dented or whatever, but after kind of being with that spirit of the animal, they kind of become connected to the animal. And he says it's a little bit like, you know, there's just a silence or a quiet where you get connected. But he said it's just like music when you're singing. There's sort of that space, that in a way emptiness, but it's connection at the same time. What how do you feel, or have you had experiences of when you sing? I'm sure that you but how would you describe the spirit of when you're singing and what you're feeling, or how you connected when you sing?
To be honest, I remember my dad's father. One time, I took a lot of medicine. It kind of hit me hard, and it seemed like my grandpa knew my mind was troubled, you know, and I was following this sound, but I couldn't connect, and it was really irritating, you know. And he said that. He said, you want your prayer to be heard, he said, you can pray. He said, but if you want your prayer to have power, he said, sing it in the form of a song. And it just kind of grounded me down, you know, like this wild flying carpet that I was on, it just touched down. It's like, it kind of bonded me with another understanding.
So this is all part of the reservation, Navajo?
This is Central Agency. Chinle Mini Farms is kind of like a center of the Navajo Nation. A lot of the elders, they took with them, you know, how would you say, the teaching aspect, you know, handing the responsibility down to the next generation. Some of the elders, they took it with them, you know, some of them never had children to pass on these fields to. So what you see is the leftovers. And a lot of them, they moved to the cities. A lot of the young generation. All these here are, this one here, this is a rodeo arena.
Yeah, I see that. Look.
Yeah, these people here, I think they're from another area, but they're in-laws here. And then these ones over here are Native American church people as well. You can see their flagpoles.
Native American church.
Yeah, peyote people. They have their teepee poles, their lodge poles there. And a lot of these elders recently, within the past 2 years, made their journey because of COVID. So it's the children now. You know, a lot of them having to face the stark reality of not having mom and dad, you know. So that's what's going on. Even the trees seem like they were affected by the COVID. Seems like they're sad too, you know.
Yeah.
It's something. It seems like we forgot about faith, you know.
Forgot about faith?
It seems like we lost so many, you know, in such little time. There was really no time to grieve. A lot of the mothers and grandmothers made the journey all across Navajo land, different families. There was a lot of the ladies.
So this Navajo reservation, was this where the Navajo were from, or were they moved here?
They were from here. I guess they migrated from Alaska. They migrated. They came across the Bering Strait. They migrated here. And they found the land suitable for their needs.
It's a beautiful land.
Yeah. There's a lot of stories, a lot of elder. You know, working with these people throughout the years, I learned to understand them. Some of their stories, you know, they'll tell you this is where it happened. Like Spider Rock, Spider Lady. You know, what she was all about. Her significance in the Navajo philosophy. You know, these here, you know. There was a time when they say monsters ruled the land and they terrorized the people, I guess.
The songs on Sacred Path, What language?
Lakota.
Lakota.
Lakota, yeah.
Because I love to try to sing along, but I don't really know what I'm singing or where it all goes sometimes, you know. But I do feel that in my heart.
Yeah, go with it. You know, a lot of time, and you know, I encourage people. You know, pick up the gourd, and you never know what's on the other side. You know. I had, when I was a counselor, I had some students that nobody didn't want to bother with hardcore cases, and I found out that music calmed them down. A lot of them were hypertension, schizophrenic. You know, this music is you can use it in many forms. You know.
Victor Wooten and others talk about music as being sort of an entity, a spirit. That's a feminine spirit. Is that reflected in music that you've sang, or that, or no, or yes, or?
Well, I heard, but I've always constructed music using a pattern, you know, introduction, a pattern of twice representing your mother and your father. Before that, it's like, it was kind of hard to understand, you know, that what the music is, you know, is really prayers, but it has a melody, a tune. This is Rock Point.
That's Rock Point there.
Yep. They say that a long time ago, I guess the elders, they said if you can shoot an arrow over, you're more than welcome to have as many wives as you want.
So how would the natives have thought about music and nature together?
I believe it was always hand in hand, you know. Like the reed flutes, the cedar flutes.
Cedar flutes.
Mm-hmm. We natives always constructed, you know, had a melody, a pitch, you know, whether it was courting or to send somebody on their journey, or then the drums too. There was always a drum.
Yeah.
Any ceremony. Then the shakers. And then the flute, the whistle, eagle bone whistle.
Could you explain a little bit about Native American church and the ceremonies and the role of the music as well as the plant medicine?
Yeah. The traditional natives say that this medicine was always here. I guess they used it in their everyday life, but it wasn't till the middle 1800s that they found that there was something about this medicine, and at first they used it for healing purposes only, but they found that they could bring their children, their generations in and administer the medicine to them, and they would benefit from it. So they started having birthday meetings, baptism meetings, Christmas meetings, wedding meetings. And they started extending their boundaries, you know. And they found that it was something good, so they went to 1920 something, I forget when, but the Sioux went to Aberdeen, South Dakota. They got a chartered organization, and that was the first chartered Native American church acquired in the state of South Dakota.
And when you started recording, you were recording Native American church music, and your father and whatever in your family, but that was sort of the essence of it with the songs and the music that you did as part of the ceremonies.
It was the living root, if you will. The root of the whole thing.
Oh yeah, the root.
Yeah.
And is it pretty active still?
Pretty much. I think that interest, that common interest back then, still flourishes today, you know. And I remember being little, having a birthday, looking forward to hearing some birthday song. It gives the young people inspiration, you know. And Mom and Dad would say, "Oh, we're gonna have an education meeting for you." Oh, yay, you know. So it kind of like brought me up, you know. Some years Mom and Dad didn't have enough. Oh, we just have dinner, you know. Next year we'll have a meeting. Kind of like that. All of us siblings. We grew up. I'm a baptized member of the Native American Church. State of South Dakota.
And you're saying that birthdays are important. I've seen some videos online of you singing what I would hear was the sort of I'm not even sure what was the chanting or the native language aspect of it, and then you would turn into happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday song.
Kind of like a crossover.
Yes. So one of the things you were talking about a little bit yesterday was how through it all with your, the sort of a tough time with your growing up and taking care of your siblings and all that, the music is what kept you going.
Definitely, for sure. I had no idea that the music had a spirit. It was just something that took me away from what was going on at home, It wasn't really a home. It was being with non-family members.
But you find that in the music, and the music was that you were with was the native music. And what style or how would you describe that kind of music and
it surfaced to me like a genre that was untamed, a genre that was out there. My dad's dad, my Nolly man, Harry Primeaux, he was telling me, he said, "Grandson," he said, "in this life," he said, "know that there's a reason for music," because I had all these questions. He said, "This music, what it is," he said, "is a link to the higher power. Whatever connection you have to Mother Earth," he said, that's a different link from what you have over here. He said, the music, he said, take care of it, and it'll take care of you.
Take care of music, and the music will take care of you. I've heard that. I believe that.
It took me a little while to figure that out, you know. He said, this music is going to take you through many experiences. It's like being on a rocky road, he said. He said, this road of life, that's why this is here, the horseshoe. This mound of dirt right here.
Yes, the mound that goes right over there.
That's what it is. Over here, we're newborn. They say when we get to that middle, that's where 50 years is. Coming, at the end over here is 100 years. They said on that, you take like even a quarter, you draw a line on top of that moon. They said that represents the road of life, this everyday life. That's what it represents. Along the way, you gain knowledge. You leave that childhood behind, and you become an adult. You start thinking like an adult. When you get to that 50-year mark, you have a pretty good understanding. When you go beyond that, somewhere in there at this time, you're going to turn around and you're going to see your generation, your kids, your grandkids, your relatives. You're going to take measure at that time, your gains and your losses in life. Yeah. And then God willing, when he sees fit, if he sees fit, you will see 100 years. He said, and then some. Her grandma lived to be 108.
Oh.
A lot of that out here, you know, a lot of elders. And she didn't walk with a cane. She had good eyesight, pretty much all her teeth. You know, I guess that's blessings. I was telling you the way we understand this thing here. Our beings, our beings. The spirit of it comes from Creator. The physical part comes from Mother Earth. So, you know, the music, what Grandpa was talking about, it's going to take care of you from this life into the next too. Yeah. They say Creator, he likes music.
The Creator likes music.
Even where the angels' wings rub together,
yeah,
that's music.
Yeah. And the Native American church music, I think on the first album I had of yours, Sacred Path, it says songs of Native American church. And that's sort of the genre of music that you sing. Mm. And how is that unique? How is that? How does it touch you? How does it affect other people? What's it for? What's it do? What's it about?
That particular album, it was constructed out of a spiritual format. What we did was, for the younger generation, we said, we can't tell anything to our older generation. They're our teachers, so we focused on the younger generation. We used our experiences in life, both my brother Johnny and I. He had a hard upbringing. He had a hard childhood. We found each other. We had a lot of compatible, infrastructure. And we hit it off real well. The thing about this music, songs of the Native American church, the songs itself consist of a format. Hey ne, yoa, yoa at the end. So why not? The Yankton Sioux did that in the early 70s, harmonizing. So we took a little bit of that idea, and we took from the northern powwow. We kind of interweaved it. We didn't know where it was going. Mm-hmm. So this harmonizing, we call it a 2-in-1 system. You can sing a high pitch with a low pitch at the same time, and then sing a broad bass and a tenor. So we tried that out on Volume 4, Walking Beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Rolling Stones magazine gave us
Thumbs up
stars.
from Rolling Stone magazine.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know, it was the beginning. We had our foot in the doorway, so to speak. Mainstream music. I had no idea what sync licensing was. I had no idea what production levels. And my agent, he said, you know, when you get time, he said, I'll send you some gas money. I'll put you up for a couple nights. He said, we need to talk about where you're going. He said, what do you mean? He said, well, he said, I don't know how to tell you. He said, but you've been nominated for a Grammy.
Wow.
What's that?
That's amazing. What's that?
It kind of hit me at a certain level, you know. I was proud. It was a humbling experience. All those years of hiding out, my relatives, my ancestors, they had to hide out when they used the peyote to sing those songs and say those prayers. I guess medicine was a narcotic in the day.
Yeah.
Classified as a hallucinogenic drug. So when that happened, you know, it's like we broke free of bondage. We broke the chains.
You could take the music of the church public
To a new level, a higher level. It was like struggling in water, you know, and then you come out, you catch your breath.
I don't know. I mentioned to you, I don't know how I got that album. It must have been 20, a couple of years ago. But it always resonated with me. I didn't know you. You know, back in those days, you couldn't just YouTube anybody when they came on or look them up on the internet. And when I was, you know, on this audiobook project, it just hit me. Oh, Verdell. And I contacted you, and we did that project, and now here we are doing another project, and I just really can't thank you enough for that music, and I hope more people will listen, because it does go right to your heart. Well, the music, you know, you can get in your car and be in any kind of mood and put on some music you want to hear, and you are transformed. And I believe it is just powerful, maybe not even the right word, but it's so powerful. It can change your mood. It can change your life. If you play, or certain things you listen to, or what have you, and I believe that applies for all of the people together.
Right.
The music can make a difference, and we have a lot of people now all around the world, and they have different thoughts, and everybody wants this or that, or money or oil, or but if we could listen to the music together a little more,
Right.
let the music guide us. It's a very beautiful spiritual land, and it
Needs healing.
yeah.
Oh, Mother Earth, she's gone through a lot. You know. I think she's at her wit's end with us, mankind.
Maybe so.
But with this music, it's always a fresh start.
Music always a fresh start. You've been saying you think there's good things coming.
I believe it. I feel it.
Okay, so this is such a beautiful day, and we're having such a great conversation, and we are now very fortunate Perlene Wilson, Verdell's wife and flute player. And just, how are you doing? Would love to just hear a little bit about your perspective on music, maybe your experience with music in the community for yourself. You play flute, right?
Yeah, I do. The reason I started was I was having like a difficult time. There's just one time where I was hearing voices, and it was real. And I lived here, and I was fine. I'm fine. I mean, people thought I was going crazy. I wasn't doing anything. I was just telling people, I was hearing voices. When I go into my house, I noticed that, that's when it happened.
In your house?
Yeah. So we had this movie, Little Buddha. When I turned on, it seemed like there was like a spirit in the house, and I could feel it because I'm very sensitive. I'm like him. We have these premonitions sometimes, and then he's a we see things sometimes, and if it's not him, it's me. So when that was happening to me, in that video, there's this music, their Indian Buddhism, their music. I turned on the music, and it seemed like I kind of like saw a spirit when and the spirit started dancing, and it didn't bother me anymore. It wasn't bothering me no more, so I kind of resonated with it. And that's when I started, I was like, okay, I'm going to try playing the flute. So I bought myself a flute, and ever since then, I, play flute. And I think it helps me, and it helps me spiritually. So I'm not sure what they were playing, these Indian people, but it was one of those, I was watching that Siddhartha, they were calling him their god.
Yes.
The guy, he goes and, he meditates a lot. He meditated a lot.
Right.
And so they would have they had that music, and it kind of sounded like a flute. So I started playing flute, and I think it helps. It helps. And there was a point when, I felt like some kind of I was, feeling really uncomfortable one day, and, I played the flute, and I kind of like, in my mind before I went to bed, I was thinking about the flute, and I was thinking about the flute, how I played it, and then whatever, that comforting feeling went away. So that's just one of the things, I started playing flute, and I enjoy playing it. And I didn't. My daughter, she played flute. My oldest daughter, she went to she played music in school, and she did the Navajo Nation marching band and all that. She was in that band. She played the regular flute, and then she showed me how to use the flute, just a little bit, not too much. And she just told me, you just need to practice it, and you'll learn it. Yeah. So I did, and I would just, I started off just making any old noise, and then I kept trying and trying and trying, and I made progress.
The flute has been very healing for you.
Yeah.
And it's there is Indian flute, meaning in India, but beautiful Native American flute too. I've heard a lot of that, Carlos Nakai and others, and that flute is part of the Native American musical culture.
Yeah, it is. It's in the Apache. When they have when a young lady becomes a woman, they do the sunrise dance, and that's when the young lady is encouraged to play the flute at their campsite where they're going to be camping for the ceremony. And then the camp is considered their home. How it's built, how it is created. Then inside the camp, there's a kitchen built, and a pantry, and then we have, a hut housing that is similar to what this one is, this sweat lodge, but we have that set up, and some people, if they want to, camp with a girl, and then she has a godmother, godfather.
Yeah. So from your perspective, in terms of music, and with Verdell and the Native American church music and Native music, what is your perspective generally of the music, the importance of music to Native folks?
I think it's been in our culture for a very, very long time, and people sing different songs. There's different chants. Even I can hear maybe. I used to hear like a chant, and I would try to meditate and see where it's coming from and what it's about.
I mean, like a chant from the past, or from the spirit or something.
And I feel that a person can learn to sing, or if they have a mindset to remember all that, they can. You can.
So, Verdell, Perlene, thank you so much for hosting us for this Planetary Music Project visit to learn more about your music, Native American church music. You've shown us around this beautiful territory. It's been a privilege. We're so grateful for that. Standing in front of this, is it Hogan? Hogan. And it's a traditional...
Yeah, they had several ceremonies. They do ceremonies in there. They had several in there.
Yeah, and it's nice. It looks very solid.
It's a week to 2 week long ceremonies we've had done in there.
And music is always part of that. Yeah. Verdell, thank you. We have these projects we've been involved in, other ones, but I want to thank you so much for that. And it's great getting to know you and Perlene, and I just really appreciate it. The spirit of music brought us together, and will keep us going.
Right. Yep. Journey well. Be well.
Okay.
Until next camp.
Until next camp. I have this prayer stick that Verdell gave me with the tobacco pouch.
Tobacco bundle.
Tobacco tie, which is a special sort of offering to the spirits, to nature, to music.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're on our way.
Aho.
Aho, namaste. Love you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, till next time.
Yeah.